Hi guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's get ready for this live chat. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe right now. Come on in. Hello guys, welcome to Formula EOSBM. I am the fabulous Marchel'e. You could be anywhere in the world tonight, but you are here with me on this Sunday evening. Let's see who is all here. What's going on? I want to know how everybody's week has been going. Did anything exciting happen to you? Did you meet any new people? Did you buy something new and fabulous that you want to share and let me know? Did you buy a new lipstick? What's really going on? So as everybody come on in. Yes, Letitia, good evening. Good evening. Yes, we have an interesting show for you tonight. And yes, Black Girls Rock. We have so many different avenues that Black women take when it comes to family, education, their lifestyle, employment. So I want everybody to come on in this evening. If you are in the chat, you know the drill. Just come on in and say hello to everyone. We have a special guest tonight that we'll get into in just a few moments. But what we will go ahead and go do is, what is the candle scent of the evening? Today's candle scent is butterfly. Butterfly is tonight's candle scent of the evening. Ooh. And we have a few other things going. Give me one moment. Okay, guys. So the candle scent of the evening, let's get right back into it. Sorry about that. Is butterfly. Butterfly is the candle scent of the evening. And remember, if you can tell me what the candle scent of the evening is, you will receive 10% off of your next Seychelles clothing purchase. Okay. So tonight, again, we are not drinking since I'm still nursing, but of course we needed a glass. So tonight, again, we're doing some coconut water. Coconut water again this evening. Yeah, I like coconut water. So that's what we'll be sipping on tonight. And again, the candle scented fragrance is butterfly. So keep that in mind. Remember, at the end of the show, after 1 hour, if you could tell me this, you'll receive 10% off of your next purchase. So tonight's show, it is Black Girls Rock. Black Girls Rock. So tonight we're going to get into different education paths that women take, different travel that women decided to go on. Some people want to join traveling groups. Some people travel with their family. Some people even travel alone. So I want to know, what is the most exotic place you have traveled to? What was the best place if you went on something that was educational or work related? What is your most memorable place that you have traveled to? Any place outside of your home. And don't feel like it has to be over the water, over the seas. It can be simply something that was the next state over. Okay. So don't feel like it has to be this most exotic place. We're also going to get into multiple streams of income. We all know that nobody wants to be in a situation where if they job let them go, then now you've lost everything. You lose your car, you lose your home. Sometimes you lose your mate. They take away your children if you can't provide for them. So women today are definitely taking advantage of multiple streams of income. We are working more than one job. Sometimes we're working those jobs that we can stay at home and work. We're starting our own businesses. all of these things we're doing outside of whatever our career path may have been at the particular time where you started from. But all women rock, but we definitely, tonight it's all about Black girls rocking. Also, in addition to where you've been, okay, let's see. So Tisha said Dubai. The sand was hot, but it was beautiful. That's definitely one of the places that I do want to travel to. My husband thinks it's overrated, but I do want to visit Dubai. I cannot believe how, when you see pictures of Dubai in the 1980s, it was clearly just desert, but they have done so much with their civilization where they have been able to build up and almost surpass things that have happened here in the States. So I definitely think Dubai is a beautiful place. I've only seen the photos, but I definitely would love to go to Dubai. I would have to say my most exotic place that I've been, or the place that I've been, is when we took our honeymoon to Bora Bora. I will say, I believe that Bora Bora, the place literally looked like a screensaver. The waters were so clear. You can literally see to the bottom. And we stayed on the overwater bungalows. So we had a floor that had like glass. So you could like see the fishes in the morning. It was really beautiful. So those are the two places for me in Dubai. I want to get into our guest of the evening, Miss Dr. Shelley Hamler. Now, this woman has an extensive resume. She is from the Cincinnati area, Cincinnati, Ohio. She has been involved in 4 different public schools in the Cincinnati area. She has been the assistant superintendent. She has also been the the teacher of the year. I want to get into that for the state of Ohio. Now that's super, super, super major. But what it is our guest of the evening, she'll get into everything a little bit further. But Dr. Shelley Hamler, she is dedicated to educating the youth, and she is a true educator. She has been involved in many different groups. She's been members of many different alumni. So I want her to get into everything a little bit deeper, but first let's go ahead and bring on Miss Shelley right now. Let's go ahead. Hello.
Hello, Marchel'e. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, I'm loving the orange. It's bringing out your hair in the gold and the accessories you have. Well, I'm loving it.
Well, thank you. I'm hearing.
Well, one more
Thank
time.
you.
Okay, yeah. It looks really good. So tonight we're talking about Black Girls Rock, and you are definitely a Black girl that honey has been rocking. You have been doing a lot, not only for yourself and your education, but your community as well, from your bachelor's all the way to your doctorate. I just want to know what made you choose the education route.
I am hearing an echo. Am I doing something wrong?
I don't know.
As long as you can hear it, but
I'm not hearing an echo.
all right.
I don't hear an echo. Now, if you want, you can try to log back out and log back in, see if that fixes it.
Okay, I can do that because it's delayed. Let me try that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so while Shelly is doing that, let's get back into the travel. Letitia went on to say a Caribbean island while on a cruise, the water was clean, the fish was fresh and clean, the sand and the trees were gorgeous. Yes. Islands are always beautiful. I love to visit like the street vendors when they're out. A lot of the things are handmade. I kind of really I enjoy that. Health teacher says Dubai is overrated. Yeah, she said she can hear clearly. I thought I could hear too, but let's go ahead and join. Bring her back. Okay, let's see. Do you still hear echo now?
I do, but that's okay.
Oh, I don't want, because I know that can be annoying on the other end. You're trying to hear somebody and see something. So I was just starting with your education. Why did you decide to go the education route and you went the full? This you went from your bachelor's all the way to doctorate. So I want to know what made you choose that path.
Well, I always think that education is a great asset. However, college is not for everyone, and I understand that. But that was something that my father really wanted for me. And sometimes you know how your parents live vicariously through you, because I didn't see a real need in getting it. And he said, Shelley, you can write your own ticket when you have your doctorate. And now that I have it and have had it for years, I truly understand that. It opens up so many doors. And I think probably because people know, well, they can't just take advantage of you. They can't just get over, because you
Mm-hmm.
do have the knowledge that uh, that makes sure that you're able to understand any and everything that people are saying. But I remember when I was very young, and my mother and I were out shopping. Imagine. And I asked the elevator operator, this is when they had elevators back in the day where they had operators. And I used to ask, how does this elevator work? And so my mother said, Shelley, why do you ask so many questions? And I remember saying, well, mommy, one day, if I ask all these questions and get all the answers, then I'll be the smartest person in the world. So that was that was just something that I remember. I do think education will open up many doors, and I think that it's just very important to have. And as I had said before, because I was the uh, deputy superintendent, and I was the principal of a high school, and all students, of course, did not go. And in fact, my initial school was a school for students who were not able to make it in the traditional high school setting. And so not only did I have to have a caring staff, but I also had to let students know that we believed in them many times more than they believed in themselves. And I needed to be a role model. I needed to be an example. And it has worked really well. Our students who were at this particular school, which was for people who had dropped out, emancipated youth, I had murderers, multiple expulsions, suspensions, you name it. But I needed, and the staff needed, to be positive role models for them so that they could not only believe in themselves, but reach the stars, be the best
Mm-hmm.
be, no matter what it is. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
carpet cleaner, if you work for the sanitation department, be the best that you can be.
That
So I've always lived by that.
you're always ready to go, huh?
Yeah.
Now, Letitia mentioned, is it an education alternative school? Now, she's worked with 4 different school districts, correct?
Did I? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was four
Yeah.
different. So was
Yeah.
she's asking, was it an alternative school for one of them?
Yes. And that was the Peter Humphreys Clark Academy. And that was the school for students who were not able to make it in the traditional high school setting.
Now, from there, you went to Ohio State University. You start
The Ohio State University.
the. So I went to Cleveland State and Kent State. So we don't put really the in front of it, but I guess it's the Ohio State, huh? Xavier and the University of Cincinnati.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
now. If you could go back, I want to know what was the decision for some of these schools that you went to, because you also chose a different school for the different degree that you earned at that particular time. So, what made you draw into a particular school for a particular degree?
Well, I did. I, of all of my sisters, wanted to stay closer to home. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the Ohio State University would be a great place for me to go. I would still be 2 hours away from home and would be able
Mm-hmm.
to work with my parents. Um, and then when I started teaching, it was really funny because I graduated from college in 3 years because I'm just one of these overachievers. And I remember the third grade, they asked my parents if I could skip a grade and go to fifth grade. And I
Oh.
was a younger student in that particular grade. And so my father, being an educator, said, "No, I just don't think that would be great socially and emotionally for you." And I never did forget that. I was so upset that they wouldn't let me skip that grade. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I graduated, I said, "Oh, I could have graduated a year earlier. I could have finished college a year earlier, started my career a year earlier." And so I made the decision because I had a wonderful friend who I met in college, and she said, "Let's finish college in 3 years." And looked at her like, "Are you crazy?" And she said, "No." She said, "We'll just take more hours and we'll get out of here earlier." And I said, "Okay, that sounds good. Let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we did. And so when I got out of college, my father said, "Well, Shelley, I want you to go and get your master's." And I was a daddy's girl, even though I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
any sisters. And I said, "Okay, daddy, but I'm not going to go right now."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Okay, I'll let you wait a year. That will be that year,
Mm-hmm.
that you have graduated early." So he came home one summer day and said, "I have registered you for your master's at Xavier University." I said, "You have?" He said, "Yes, and I paid for that registration." And I said, "Well, Daddy, did you pay my tuition?" He said, "No, you can do that." And so that's what happened. I mean, he was yet. And so I did that. I ended up getting 3 master's degrees because I didn't know exactly, but I wanted to be open for different opportunities that would arise through.
We're gonna pause because we're gonna not skip over what you just said. You said you went on to get 3 masters.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us what did you get 3 masters in? Listen, after I got my one, I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. I ain't going back to school. That's enough.
Right. And most people would say one and done. But I started out as a reading specialist,
Mm-hmm.
and then my father said, "Oh, Shelley, counseling would be great too." So I went back, got my counseling certification. And then he said a year later, "Well, you know what? You would be an excellent administrator." Well, I'm his daughter. That's what he's going to say.
You're right, right, right.
Well, why don't you go back? Because you're the type of person the school district needs to be the principal and superintendent, etc. And so I said, "Okay." So I went back. And in fact, when I look back at it, Marchel'e, I think that my father and the principal of the school for whom I was working, I think they were in cahoots with one another. Because Mr. Rhodes said to me, "Shelley, I can't keep you in this school unless you go back and get your master's in administration because you need to
Mm-hmm.
move." And I said, "Mr. Bowles, I can't believe you said that to me." He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, you need to do that." And so I said, "Okay, I'll do that." But then, later on in the years, I thought, my father did that. He told that man to say that. And
Well,
so
that's great.
it
Go
is
ahead.
it is great to be able to have uh, a mentor your father, um, someone who wants you to do the best you can do. And he was my greatest motivator, I would say. And so after that,
Well, wait, before you go,
he said,
I want to know what kind of advice would you give to that young woman who does not have that father figure, who doesn't have that person that is encouraging her to go on, that person who may not even believe in herself that she's smart enough to go to college and definitely not get an advanced degree. What kind of advice would you, or how would you encourage that young man or woman?
"Mhm." Well, the one thing you have to do, you have to get involved. I like to be able to give back to the community. I'm a member of the Links Incorporated, and that was one of the programs that our chapter created and did. And what we did was to go to the high schools, ask them to select 10 girls who may, not be the smartest, but who may be struggling, but who have good intentions, and who really want to be successful, but, may not have everything that other young ladies may have and are somewhat underprivileged.
Mm-hmm.
That program, this is our beginning of our 7th year program. And I started it when I was the president of our chapter, and we had 18 girls to complete the program. And all 18 girls, this was the last year. This year, these girls are going to college. We started in the 7th grade, some in the 8th grade. All of them have been accepted to a higher educational
Oh,
institution.
wow. That's
And
wonderful.
the parents are saying, well, with one girl, my daughter never had the desire to go to college
Mm-hmm.
until she was in the program. And so we felt good about that. And the first year there were 8, there were 17 girls, 8, and then this year there were 9. And the first 8, there were 7 students who went to an HBCU, and the other one went to the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And so
that and
we
I
just have to, we all have to give back.
yeah,
That's
give back and be involved. Now, like I said, Miss Dr. Shelley, she has an extensive resume. So when she say get involved, she really means involved. So I want you all to keep this in mind. Keep some of this in mind. Now, you may not end up being a board member as soon as you jump out the gate, but I want you to think in terms of being involved. Now, you probably can pull out a little bit faster than me than some of your organizations, the boards that you've been on, or some of the affiliates that you have been partaking. So I just want to mention a couple. You've been a board member of the Girl Scouts of America, the president of the Cincinnati chapter of Links Incorporated. You are a member of Delta Sigma Delta. You also have been associated with the National Association of Black School of Educators, the Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio, member of the NAACP as well, Inroads, and it kind of goes on and on and on. But I'm not about to go and spell out her whole resume. But I definitely want to say that when she say get involved, she means get involved with the community. Correct?
that is correct. Well, we have to. I mean, because we're successful, and so why not bring our children up with us?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not their fault because they don't have parents who may have not had opportunity to get an education or have had other rights in life that have prevented them from being successful.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to be involved and help our youth because they're the future. They're our future. And imagine having these young people not be prepared to be able to move forward. I mean, it's the same thing I say when President Obama ran for election.
Mm-hmm.
He had a plethora of young people behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
important. I don't care if you just give 3 hours a month. But you give it. Remember his donation? As far as I can recollect, he was the only one who has asked people for $3, $5.
Mhm.
Every
Mhm.
other um, person who was running for election was all asking for a minimum of 25, 50, or whatever. People
Mhm.
cannot give. And so if you can just give a little, it will make all the difference in the world. When you have these children looking at your eyes. I went to a birthday party of one of my former students last Saturday. She didn't
Mhm.
know I was coming. One of her best friends, who was one of my former students as well, had said, Cornell, her husband, no, would you please be my plus one? And so when I walked into the party, I mean, her mouth and her eyes just grew. She couldn't
Mm.
believe it because they were also my little buddies. Even though I was their teacher, their principal, etc., I wanted to make an impact on their lives. And
So are you someone that, because that's definitely big, going to someone's birthday party after they've been introduced to you or part of your program? Are you someone who is readily available? Or are you like, okay, I had you this year, this school year to this school year. After that, bye bye, I'm done. Like, I'll see you, hey, but no, I'm not investing any more time in you.
no, I I tease them and I tell them, "You all are like roaches. I can't get rid of." And we laugh, we laugh about that. But no, all throughout the school year, when I was a teacher, counselor, administrator, all students had my phone number. I didn't know when they would just had an opportunity to make one phone call, but
Mm-hmm.
they all had my phone number. Throughout all of those 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
never have I ever had a prank call. And
Oh, okay. Wow.
yet they know where I live. I don't hide that. I had a young lady who came by, left me a note. She said, "I looked at your number. Please give me a call. It's urgent." And so I told her, well, the first thing I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Yes." And do you know what she wanted me to do? Uh, and I don't know why I can't think of the show, but Lee Daniels, who is the producer of, remember it was the TV show with
I'm familiar
Cookie
with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Empire,
Empire.
Empire, Empire.
And he was being honored at a church in Cincinnati. And she came by because she wanted me to host a reception for him. And she had just said, "You're the one I can depend on. I know you will do it right, and I need for you to do that, please." She came back to the house. I told her to come over. That's exactly what happened. And that was a great experience for me. But this
Mm-hmm.
was right before Empire had come out.
Okay.
And so he had done, what was it? Preacher, or what was the other movie he had, and he had not come out with Empire yet.
Oh, it
And
might have been a
it was like,
Butler. It might have been a.
yeah,
Might
the
have
Butler. It was the
been
Butler, but also the one with the young girl who was 16 years old.
a. Precious.
Precious. Yes, it was
Okay.
Precious.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
he had
Okay.
just finished with that. Uh-huh. And
Mm.
it was really a great experience for all. I mean, we had all the dignitaries because they really wanted to see him and hear him. And
Right.
then that's when he told his life story, which was embedded in the show Empire. You
Wow.
know,
That's nice to be. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to
That's,
say remember because his father had put him in the garbage can because he had found out that he was gay. And in one of the episodes, you will see where he has been put in the garbage can, lid on, but he would take his book so he could read. And
mm,
he told uh, about his life, and he told us of that incident. We had no idea that it was going to be
mm.
part of the show Empire. So at
Oh
any rate,
wow.
needless to say, yes, my students do keep in touch with me all the time, and we go out to dinner, and they invite me all the class reunions I'm invited to come and speak, and so it really makes it nice, especially after 45 years. There's a class reunion next month, and so
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that involvement, and then here at Formula, we also have our co-host Miss Ice. I love to call her Miss Ice. Miss Ice, honey, are you red eye, honey? She backstage Pat. I always like to tease her. I always like to tease her. She like to get ready. So we're gonna see if Miss Ice have any education further questions for you, and then I want to transition into we're gonna go back to travels. So Miss Ice, you ready, honey?
I'll mute.
No, 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 no. She's part of my hosting too. So
Okay.
you're the guest of honor. Ready? Okay, I gotta make sure. Okay, there you go, honey. How
Hello,
are you?
hello, Dr. Shelley. Hello, my Asante, Marchel'e. How's everyone?
Good. So I
Good,
hope you've been
good. Thank
backstage
you.
listening.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we just been talking about her extensive resume, education, how to get involved past just your schooling, the impact that
Yeah,
you have on the youth, or it could just be somebody younger than you, but it's people you can impact them even at your same age. I always say I'm not an influencer, but I influence others.
absolutely.
So I want to know, do you have any further questions for Dr. Shelley on the education topic before we switch over
Yes,
into the multiple streams of income?
definitely. First off, I just want to commend you. We are two birds of a feather. We need to flock together because I have an extensive background as well for youth leadership. And not only because I have a higher degree of education, but because I was one of those students that were it wasn't the beginning stages of special education, but I they didn't put it off as special education. It was
Mhm.
called Excellence in Students Performance, ESP, when I was in junior high, because I was pinpointed as being someone who could go wayward to the left or to the right, and I just needed a little more guidance to push me in the right direction. And in high school, I actually dropped out in the 12th grade, and now I am working on my doctorate in education. And it is because of educators, it is because of leaders like yourself who never took their hand off of me and kept me encouraged as well. And one of my, I don't know what I would call him, but he said to me, Miss Sales, you will never make it in a 4 year college, right? And this was in high school. His name was Mr. Malenik. Guidance counselor. My guidance counselor told me this, right? And I thought to myself, how dare you say something like that to
Right.
me? Even though it did, I was one of those people who you would say you would never make it. But as a leader and as a guidance counselor, how could you say that to a student? And I said, you know, I'm just gonna prove you all the way wrong. And I went with flashes, go flashes, went through 4 years. Actually, it took me 6 years at Kent State University. And then I went on to Jack Welch Institute of Management, and now I'm at Walden University. So that to me, and what you're doing and having that open line of communication with your students, and the fact that you've never gotten a crank call and they know exactly where you are, is a testament to who you are and what you represent to the people that you are empowering. So I guess I would like to ask, what drives you? Like, I understand you said we got to take each other with us and build up our youth, but what was that it factor for you? Because that it factor for me was you'll never make it, and then understanding that how much it really took for me and it's taken for me to make it. So what is that it factor for you?
Well, I too had a counselor who said something similar. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I went to a college preparatory school, and the counselor said, "Why would you want to go to The Ohio State University? You'll
Mm-hmm.
just be a number. It's too big. You shouldn't go there. And
Mhm.
I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Just like you, why would you
Mhm.
say that to a student when you're
Mhm.
supposed to promote them
That's
and
right.
not right stir them in a lesser direction? And it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
because of what she said. She said, "You'll just be a number." I couldn't wait until I finished college for 2 years to go back to her, and I said, "It was a number, all right. The number was 3. That's how many years it took me to finish college." And so
Amen.
I
Amen.
just said, "I will never forget that." I and I think when you go into education, you go into it, and I hope most people go into it because of your love
Mhm.
for children, because
Yeah.
you want to be able to guide them. Children are so precious, and
Yes.
they're just like a sponge. They absorb
Mhm.
everything you say to them, whatever you say, however. And that was one thing that I really harped on with my staff. I
Yeah.
want you to treat these students as though they were more, because one day you may need them. And that happened to me. My 7th grade social studies teacher, and
Mhm.
I hated social studies, but I was in his class and I just didn't, he and I just didn't always see eye to eye. But he was still a nice man. Well, when I was a principal of the school for the students who weren't able to make it in the traditional high school setting, he came over on his lunch break because I was a new principal and helped me to do my scheduling for the students
Mm.
because everything had to be done by hand back then. And he
Mhm.
came over during his lunch every single day to work
Wow.
on my scheduling for the students.
Mm.
And so you never do know when you're going to need them. I mean,
Yeah.
never. And so, I just think that anyone who goes into education should go into it with the knowledge and the desire to want to be able to help every single student there, no
Yeah.
matter. And that has carried on throughout my life. I know when I tell everyone, I love the young girls, black, white, green, purple, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. And I don't know if I have something written on my face that says, "Okay, be a gentleman," but I can go to the mall, I can go to the store, and if there's a
Mhm.
man in front of me, he will open that door for me
That's
no matter
right.
what.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
always
Hmm.
compliment them and say, "Oh, chivalry is not dead,"
That's right.
especially our young people. And so
Mhm.
I just think that that's important to make sure that you're in education to help every single young person to be
That's
successful. There are
Mm.
different ranges. And not only that, but you have to be able to help them. So you can't motivate anyone because people have to motivate themselves. But you
Mhm.
have to give them the desire to want
Yes.
to be the best they can
Mhm.
do. I just wrote 2 little girls, they're twins, and they were come to Cincinnati to visit, and they're like my little babies. And so I literally fly to Maryland, for any event that they have. And
Mm. Nice.
their brother actually graduated from high school with Sasha Obama.
Wow.
So
Oh wow.
there, and the girls didn't want to go there, which was fine. But I wrote them a note and I said, "This is your senior year. I want you to make it your best year ever,
That's
ever.
right.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
don't worry about anything else. Do your very best because what you do this year will impact how
Mhm.
you enter college and how you exit."
That's
Hmm.
right.
They wrote back, "Oh, thank you so much. You're just the best. Thank you for those words. I'm going to give it my best." But
Mhm.
and they have wonderful parents. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not the parents who can tell them. They always need someone outside of
Yes.
that
Yes,
family. You know how kids are.
that's
They
true.
listen
Mhm.
to other adults before they want to listen to their parents. And
True.
Yeah.
you just have, I just love children,
Yeah.
and my children said, "You can't have any children because you got all of us." you won't have time for your own. Not a little selfish, but I just think that we have to be there for it.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of my story in undergrad. So my undergrad is in human development and family studies and a concentration in case management. And we all were expected to do an internship. And I was lacking on like searching for an internship. So like at the time, my professor had gave me like a list. Well, the entire class, like a list. And I just picked the first thing I saw and I went with that. So it was with adults with developmental disabilities in a day program setting. And that was the first time I had ever been around that population. I was there and I was just sitting there like, what do you do with them? I have no idea what to do. And when it was time, because we still had to be reviewed, because it was still part of our curriculum for school and whatever. So the supervisor at the time gave me like this bad review, but I still got an A in my class. But I just felt like, oh my God, why did they give me this horrible review? Like I honestly didn't know what to do they were adults. I didn't know what to do with them. I felt like I didn't have any training. I didn't have anything. And because when she was going over it, she was like, you would never do this. You would never do that. You don't need to be in this area, this field. She went on and on and on. That was the only job I've had. So after I got out of school, I took a year off. I ended up working it was Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, went all the way up the ranks the whole way from substitute, the head of the classroom, the building manager. And it's just so funny how sometimes when people tell you can't do something, it's like you find something in you to do it. And then in conjunction with that, getting my master's of education on it. And I wish I'm not that petty, but I wish I was that petty, because I would go back there and show that lady like, look here, because I probably know more than you, had more training than you at this point, and probably made more money than you at this point too. But that's interesting. So speaking of money, multiple streams of income for Black women, at this point, we all want to see those deposits coming in. We may not always have extra time to go into a place to work. We might want to, have our careers, but then we want to pick up some things, like on the side, or something that could still just be multiple. That's hence why I started Elements of Style by Marchel'e and Seychelles Clothing and things, just because, you have a different love. You have more than one love in life. And then if you can make some money off of it as well, why not get into it? So Shelley, tell us your experience or your background with either working multiple jobs or earning multiple streams of income, even if it was investments, from your traditional role from employer, or what is the importance of multiple streams of income to you?
Well, once again, I go back to my father. When I started teaching, he had said, well, now you've got to put some money away, no touch money, because I want you to be able to build your empire. I want you to be able to be financially prepared for anything. And I said, okay. And so it's really funny, because I started out just making a pittance of money, but I said, all right then. He said, because if you need anything, periodically just come to me, but don't touch that particular money. So you can have your savings account, your checking account, and then your no-touch money. Well, when I started teaching, my salary was a paltry $7,800 for an entire year. And so I was making $500 a month. And I told I had a car payment. I couldn't even get my car because I started teaching when I was 20. So he had to get it, but I co-signed. And it was $105. And I said, okay. I said, I'm going to put $200 away a month in my no-touch money. And so my father didn't see it. He believed in, letting us speak with whomever who was taking care of the transactions. And so when we got home, he didn't say anything on the ride home about it. And so we were walking up the back stairs to the house. And he said, Shelley, don't you think you put a little too much money in that don't touch money? And well, Daddy, you said I could come to you if I needed any more. So that was a big joke that he would tell us. It still hasn't stopped coming. But I do believe in multiple streams of income. I also believe in working smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was introduced to a wellness company 20 years ago. One of my girlfriends, who happens to be an attorney, shared information with me, she and her mother. And I said, oh, okay, well, this made good sense because all I was doing was switching stores, safer, healthier products without the form and cost. And I said, well, that was a no-brainer because I had lost both of my parents. Our mother died of disease and our father to cancer, which are the two of the leading causes of death in North America. And this is the wellness company. So I said, I need to find out. I need to know a little bit more as to, how my parents at a younger age both died. And so I did. And um, as I was an adjunct professor at the University of Cincinnati, I was director of a grant up in Warren County. And then my girlfriend had introduced me to the company. And so I switched stores. I was very satisfied. I had, a couple of little health issues, and they dissipated. Like I had asthma growing up. I continued to have bad allergies, sinus problems, where I was hospitalized.
Wow.
And then after I had switched stores with safer, healthier products, all of that dissipated. I couldn't.
Wow.
And I've been with the company for 20 years, and I've been sick one time. I had a viral virus with COVID, everything. Been around people with COVID. But, when you have a good vitamin regimen and non-toxic chemicals in your home, that can happen. And so after about a year and a half of doing both of these other jobs, I said, oh, yeah, a year and a half doing the jobs. And then maybe I would say 7 months with the wellness company. These other jobs have to quit. Remember, you're supposed to work smarter, not harder. I was working too hard. And then I was making more money by sharing information with the wellness company. And I said, okay, this is great. And so that was another stream of income. But I will say that it was great having a retirement check, a check from the University of Cincinnati, another check from Warren County Educational Service Center, and then the wellness company. Boy, that was great. But so I said, well, I'll just build up my income with the wellness company. But I think that it's very important, especially for women, to be able to have their own. Because what I have found in some cases, marrying into wealth, sometimes the man really feels as though he has more control over you. And I'm not one who believes in being controlled. And so, I have my own mind. Absolutely.
I know that's right.
Right. And I can use it. And so it's always great to be able to know that you can do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it.
Amen.
And so I don't mind working a little hard so I can play a little harder.
Come on.
Right.
So it's a good feeling to be able to have your own. Trust me, I've been on the other side where I would go to the cashier and just pray, oh, please let it go through. Let I have enough money on this charge for it to go through.
Yeah.
And fortunately now, I don't have to worry about that. I can help my family out and, wonderful things to be able to enhance other people's lives.
Where do you find that time? How do you balance because again, with multiple streams of income, you have to still put in some time to allocate to each different business or venture. So where do you find that balance, or what does a day look like? How is scheduling? Like, I'm curious to know. When it's multiple streams, you still got to put in some time. So
Mhm.
how does that look for you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I just partner with the wellness company. Of course, I have my retirement check from the school system. But every morning, I get up, I do my workout,
Mm-hmm.
and the girlfriend and I walk 5.1 miles. We walk through our entire development. And that's what she did today. Okay, I don't have to go to date babysit this week. So are we gonna walk every day? And I'm like, oh, I hate walking. But I know I
So
know
good
it's
for you.
good for your health. And so I will be up tomorrow morning. Let's do a little earlier because it's gonna be high 90s. I said, okay, let's do it. And I still would do my workout because that helps you mentally,
Mm-hmm.
and physically. And so
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
definitely want to be in great physical shape.
That's right.
I always say I'll live at least until the age of 105 and still wear my stilettos and a miniskirt,
Yes.
baby. But
Right.
right, that's right, Ice. And so
And
I
that,
just think that we have to take care of our body, because if you don't take care of
yeah,
your body will not take care of you. It's like putting
yes.
oil and gas in a car. If you don't have
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
oil and gas, if you don't keep that car checked
Mm-hmm.
regularly, then it's not going to run for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I have to calendar uh, my schedule, and that's very important. I mean, I live by my calendar, and so
Mm-hmm.
I put everything on there, all my appointments, everything, all of these other social activities, my organizations, my board members, and so I put all of that in my calendar. And I think that if you love doing something enough, that you find the time to be able to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
now with the wellness company, we work from home. And I love being able to be at home. And I'm so happy to say that Marchel'e has partnered with me, and that is great. Thank you. Yes, because that precious little baby, she can't afford to have toxic chemicals in our home.
That's right.
I said, for nothing else, do it for me. And now that I've met the baby, she's our
Yes.
baby.
That's
You
our
know,
baby.
one of
Right. And I
our
think
children.
what happens is people tend to think your body is only affected by what you put into it. And no,
Mm-mm.
it's what you're inhaling, it's what's on your topical, different things that you
That's
put
right.
on your skin. And I think that was my big push. And lately, and Miss Ice is real big on this too. She's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you should only be eating stuff that you can read the ingredients. If it's a color, if they
Mm-hmm.
didn't add a color, don't
Mm-hmm.
eat that. And she part
That's
of it,
right.
she's got me into it. So I'm always
Mm-hmm.
reading the back of a label, like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, no, I can't have this. Can I have this? I had to get into it a little bit more, but I'm more
Yeah.
conscious of it today. So
Amen.
Miss Ice, tell your price, because you are the mixologist, mixing this, mixing that. You are
Mm-hmm.
definitely one who, definitely lives that whole lifestyle
Ab-
of organic or clean. So
ab-
explain a little bit about that.
yeah. Well, I had my come to Jesus moment was I have very arthritic, almost bone to bone knees, right? Morbidly obese for probably about 20 years, right? And I went to the doctor to get my knees looked at, and he said, "You probably only have like 5 years to live, right?" He said, "Because your knees are going to go out, they're not going to operate on you, and eventually you'll just be sitting down, and you're going to give out, right?" And I think that was about 5 years ago at this point, because it was before COVID. And I've always been a healthy person, per se, um, but I had to do a about face and really look at what I was doing to myself, what I was ingesting, what all my gates were. Um, so during COVID, I went and I became a personal trainer, a nutritionalist, a Zumba instructor. I got all my certifications. And it really helped me to start really looking at the why. And also, one of my best friends, her name is Sister T of the legendary Job Messenger Band. She is a devout vegan, right?
Mhm.
If you cook the French fries with the same grease that you cook the chicken in, she's not eating it. And then the rule of thumb is if you can't ingest it, it shouldn't be on you at all. So I've also been a part of Melaleuca as well, and it didn't. I feel like the products there are so beautiful, from the nail polish that is, I want to say like vegan nail polish, all natural nail polish, where it's not going to hurt you. The home products that they have, to the very well, the vitamins and the
Yeah.
things like that nature, and the baby care line. And these are very, very important, because we think as a society, right? That because it's approved by the FDA and all of these different governmental agencies, that is going to be good for us. But in all truth and honesty, and this is my disclaimer, I feel personally that they're all sold out to lobbyists. And that is not necessarily what's in the best interest of the people, but what's in the best interest of the company. That's why we have Big Pharma. That's why we have all of these different cancer societies and things like that, that they're only putting band-aids on it, and they're not curing anything. So we have to really take charge of our own health. And
Right.
truthfully, our health is our wealth, because how are we going to be 105 with some stilettos and mini skirts if we're not taking care of our bodies?
Yeah.
So I've done an about face, over the past, I want to say 3 years. It's been 60 pounds for me, and at this point I'm on go mode. And thank you, I do feel better, but right now I have focused on my mind, and I have focused on educating myself on what I need to do. And now I'm able to start moving. And my biggest thing is I go to the pool for a good hour to 2 hours, 3 to 4 days a week. And you have to, your body is pretty much, if you liken it to a car, you have to put that good fuel in. I'm a firm believer, mostly fruits, then your vegetables, then your legumes and everything else, your nuts and things like that, your beans. And I sparingly do meat, no processed foods for the most part. I'm not in any way perfect. I'm not a vegetarian or vegan or anything, but I am a healthitarian. I want to be able to continue to live a lifestyle, because I've been on
Yeah.
those fad diets
Yeah.
where I lose 50 pounds. I could lose 50 pounds in a week right now. But I'm gonna start putting other stuff back in my diet, and then once I do that, then I'm gonna gain it back and some.
Mhm.
So I commend you for the Melaleuca. I love the company. I love what it stands for. I have one of my friends I was working with at a middle school this past year. She brought me in, and it's making millionaires out of people. So I commend you for that.
Well, thank you.
And,
Yeah, I do too. It's awesome. Great. We'll share some other stories later.
Yes, yes.
But
and once we
great,
get
great
our
looking
bodies,
one.
right, and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to go and travel. But we had a comment, I think I missed this one. As Black women, when we want to progress, there is always that one person who's feel the need to tell us what they think we will be. Amazing, we always have to prove them wrong. I think that was back for some of the
Mm-hmm.
education comments, but I think I left that one sitting there. But once we get our bodies together, we're traveling. So Shelley, tell us where is your most where's your most memorable vacation been, and if you could share what you can share about it.
Well, there are many. I mean, really, there really are many. I like going to different places uh, to be able to experience their culture. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's so very important because you don't know until you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so even more like one of my friends invited it was my cousin who invited me to Switzerland, to Zurich. And she said, Shelley, will you go on vacation with me? And I'm thinking, okay, but she never did say where. And I said, well, where are we going? And she said, to Switzerland, to Zurich. And I love that because I'm a Tina Turner fanatic. Okay, I love
Mm-hmm.
Tina Turner. So fast forward, we get there, we go there for for a 6-year-old daughter's birthday party. I said, okay, any excuse. And then they live literally right across the water because they have the water that goes to the city, separates the north and the south and everything else.
Mhm.
You could actually see Tina Turner's home. And so
Wow.
that was Thanksgiving. So that was something that was very exciting for me. But I love Italy. I love Paris. Uh,
Mm.
went to Africa, Marrakesh, and Casablanca, Australia.
Wow.
Nice.
Because you learn about these different cultures. Australia was wonderful. I never will forget. I had gone there when I was actually sent there when I had earned Principal of the Year for the state of Ohio, and that's where the international conference was. And so the school
Mm.
just sent me, and I wasn't going to go. And my girlfriend said, "Girl, you have got to be crazy. Why would you go? That's a free trip. Are you sick?"
Mhm.
And
Right.
so I went on and I went, and it was really wonderful. But at one of the receptions, they were passing hors d'oeuvres, and I had put my hand down and I was going to pick up this one hors d'oeuvre. And I said, well, wait, before I do that, because it looked like chicken and I love chicken, what is that?
Mhm.
And they said, oh, that's a kangaroo. And I lightly and politely rejected my hand and recoiled it and just said,
You
oh,
didn't
thank
want
you.
that experience? You didn't want to say you tried
No,
kangaroo
No,
before?
no,
thank you.
I'm not a food. And I was too far away to get sick. And
Mhm.
so, I've never been a real foodie. I mean, everybody always says, what was your favorite food in Italy? Your favorite food in Paris? I said, I don't know because I carry my popcorn with me, and my friends are just like, oh, I cannot believe it. But no, I'm not a and I've done many cruises. In fact, my first cruise was with the wellness company that I had earned. And that was nice.
Mhm.
So I always try to make the most of any place where I go, because
Yeah.
people are always saying, how are you today? If you're talking to someone, how's your day been? And my
Mhm.
retort always is, my day is always as wonderful as I make it. Therefore, it's
Amen.
fabulous every day.
Mm.
And
Amen.
we're the ones who awaken and
Mhm.
decide how our day will be. I could have 10, 15 things on my calendar. My day is going to be busy, but it's going to be wonderful because I'm
Mhm.
going to make the most of it because we are not promised tomorrow. And that's what I
That's
tell
right.
people. Be kind, be complimentary to people. Don't hate.
That's right.
Where is that going to get you? It's not going to get
Mm.
you
Nowhere.
any place. And I have I have had so many doors open up for me because I'm just a real straightforward, honest, shoot a straight arrow type person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
fabricate. I don't, embellish. I just tell it like it is. But that has done so well for me, because people like to know the truth. People like to, know how you feel and the fact that you can express yourself.
Mhm.
There's nothing pretentious about it. What you see is what you get.
Amen.
And so, just be kind. I think if this world were a little more kind to one another, we'd be so much further ahead. But this hatred has got to stop, And
Got
then we, especially as African American women, we're the ones that do a lot of the nurturing and everything else. So we just have to be able to be out there and share with others uh, our philosophy of living a great life, how wonderful it is just be nice, to be able
That's
to
right.
pay it forward. It is so rewarding for me, that's for sure. And our God continues to bless us for doing
Yes.
that, for sure.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes. So,
So
Miss
I
Ice,
can't
before,
say that I have a favorite place. Um, I've loved every place I've gone.
because it's a different experience. It's a different experience. It's a different experience. So,
Yeah,
Miss
and
Ice, as we wrap,
everybody
go ahead.
lives by a different culture, and I like to learn their culture. So when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. You
That's right.
and
Outside
yeah,
you need kangaroo.
and so you learn. It's such a great learning experience. I am ongoing learner. I
Amen.
just want to learn and absorb as much as I can from any country, any city where I visit, because I want to understand their culture and I need to be respectful as well. So it has
No.
Amen.
panned out well for me.
Right. So, Miss Ice, as we're wrapping up, do you have any last questions or words for Dr. Shelley here?
Well, not only for Dr. Shelley, but for you as well, because Marchel'e is not one to toot her own horn, but she also is very heavy on the give back. She
Yeah.
does host a lot of classes for young people on how to dress, self-esteem, and things of that nature. So I just want to make sure that that is out there because, you know, we have to big each other up. I really feel like, if we are able to complement each other and grow with each other, then that's the key. So I
Absolutely.
didn't want to leave that out. But this is a little heavy one because I really did want to know, as an educator, right? Um, Down here, I'm in Florida, and with the critical race theory, and then it's almost like you have personally a gag order when I was hired into the school system. You can't say anything online, you can't do anything. Your hands are really tied. It's like you can't disagree with the powers that be, or else they threaten you with your livelihood.
Mhm.
And me personally, with the critical race theory and the whitewashing and the romanticizing of slavery and the African American history, and the systemic ongoing racism and institutionalized prison to school to prison pipeline and things of that nature. What is your take on that? And as educators, how can we, you know, should we and how can we be a voice, even though we are pretty much under a microscope and under the gun, if we do speak out against these atrocities? That's what I really feel like they're atrocities. How can you possibly say the things that you're saying, and how can you possibly romanticize the
Mhm.
atrocities and pretty much genocide against African
Mhm.
Americans as an educator, and then see what's going on in the system today?
Okay, Dr. Shelley, you want
Yeah. And of course, I've grown up in that. Uh, I've been a victim of that. That's for sure. One of the school districts in which I worked, uh, superintendent called me to his office, and this is when I was deputy, and he said uh, some of the board members, which of course were our bosses,
Mm-hmm.
said that the teachers feel that said that you intimidate. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah. I said, well, how is that? Because of your, and my response was, because I don't come to work slovenly clad like they.
Okay.
I don't look like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to a rummage sale when I'm going to my job that's supposed to be a
Not the.
profession. And because they don't want to spend the money and be a
Mm-hmm.
role model for their students,
Mm-hmm.
because they feel that they can come in raggedy blue jeans and wrinkled shirts and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and that's supposed to be their role model. Well, in that case, and this is what I he laughed. I said, in that case, you know what my response to them is? They can kiss my black.
I know
And
that's
that's
right.
exactly what I
In that
said.
order.
That, and you know what he said? He
I
was a
wasn't
white man.
expecting that.
He said, my sentiments exempt. And
Boom.
I just tell them. I mean, it was sweet. And it was so bad. I had a two-seater Mercedes,
Come
and
on now.
I wasn't there a full month at that school district before they were just, how
It
can
was
she
too
have it?
much.
And I said, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Who do you think
We
you are,
can't have
rolling up
something that's
being
nice
beautiful in this
because I work
Mercedes?
hard. And so I
Educated.
went out and I bought a RAV4 SUV, because
Stop.
I didn't want,
Just to make them
I just
comfortable.
didn't want all that stress on myself.
Really?
Oh yeah, I did. I
You
kept my
toned
car.
it down. See, I would have turned it up even further.
Yep, I
I'm gonna
did.
give you something to talk about, baby.
I know, but I was new to the district.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that all the African American employees were like right there on my side. I mean, they were loving,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to teach the white people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just said, instead of trying to fight them and
Mm-hmm.
have them think, "Oh, you think she's all that in a bag of chips?" Then I just said, let me show them a different
Mm.
way. And so
Mhm.
I did, then they were probably wondering, how could she have that RAV4 and keep the two-seater? There are different ways of getting a cat, that's for sure. But it worked out because I just didn't let them bother me. I
Yeah.
just went on. So, okay, that's the way you feel, no problem. Go and buy another car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And come to
Mhm.
work, and I love that RAV4. But you just say it. I mean, and there were some not altercations, but some differences of opinion. And so I made sure that when I walked into that district, they understood I was there for the children. I was
That's
also the
right.
hearing officer. That was part of my job as being deputy and assistant superintendent. And I went to the superintendent. I said, "Are African Americans and people of color the only ones you all suspend and expel?
Mm.
Are you telling me they're the only ones who act up?"
Yes.
And so I never backed up. I always said the way I felt to protect our children, because
Yeah.
that's why I was there, to be able to protect our children, to be able to be a voice for our children. And then the secretaries in our office said, we have never in all of these years had parents walk out of that hearing smiling and saying thank you, because
Wow.
it was a totally different approach. I just put it out there, asked
Yeah.
the chat, how do you think you could have better handled that? What should you have done?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What's going to happen the next time? How will you handle that situation? And, they tell you and everything. And then, of course, I'm a hugger. So I always hug the children. Just say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to punish you. I'm here just to discipline you, to
Mm-hmm.
make you understand the differences between appropriate behavior and inappropriate
Yeah.
behaviors, so that you can make better decisions, not only for school, but in your life as well. Think about
Amen.
it before you say it, before you do
Right.
it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you won't have to suffer the ramifications. So, um, I have always wherever I go, it doesn't matter. I'm always making sure that people of color are treated just as fairly
That's right.
as all of these other ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
I am the one who will always speak up. I've lived a beautiful life. I've been
Amen.
blessed, and
Amen.
what happens, happens. But I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
speak. I'm
That's
always
right.
going to speak up for the underdog. And I'm
That's right.
always going to share with you, how things can be better handled. I was out the other night and a situation happened, and um, Caucasian said something to a black male, and I'm like, and then he says, "Well, Shelley, so I said, oh no, you're out of order. I'm sorry." No,
Mm-hmm.
and I jumped up because the brother stood up like he was getting ready to knock him dead.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
"No, I'm the one who will jump between them." And thank goodness the brother listened. I said, "No, uh-uh, don't even go through that, because
Mm-hmm.
you're the one who's going to be arrested. That's what's
Yeah.
going to happen." We were in a public facility, and I said,
Mhm.
well, at any rate, I spoke up because I was saying, well, Shelley, what happened? And the Caucasian was totally banned from the
Good.
edifice. Said, yeah, that's right,
Wow.
total ban. And that was it. So I think people have to get to at least know you, especially in places where I speak up, or it could be in a school district, it could be in a restaurant, it could be wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the airport in Montreal, we were standing in line. They were told we were flying internationally when I was coming back from Paris, and they told us to be there at 3 for a 6 o'clock flight. So I was there quarter to 3. The employees aren't even in at 3:15, and I'm thinking,
Mm-mm.
let's get here. And so we're standing in line. I'm the second in line to go through, weigh our baggage, etc. And I'm the only one of color. And then a Caucasian gentleman comes up, goes on the other side of us, and when the representative for the airlines comes out, he goes and asks her a question, and then she says, "Oh, come on, let me take care of it." I got out of line. I walked over, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, um, with no disrespect, all of us have been waiting in line for you
Mm-hmm.
to get to work, and then you're going to take care of him in front of all of us.
No, no.
Something's wrong with that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, "Well, he just had a question to ask. He just has to weigh his bag." I said, "Well, that's all I have to do is to weigh my bag." "Well, you
Mm-hmm.
already have your boarding pass?" I said, "Yes, I do."
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, "Oh, okay, well, then I'll be right with you." Continue to wait on him.
Mm.
And then after he left, we were standing there for 15 more minutes. She was doing everything. And then it's our time.
Mm.
I didn't get anything. I didn't tell her about it. But and all the people were like, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you." I said,
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's not right. And so, my baggage was like a half a pound over. So she made me take something out. And I was just, oh.
Mm-mm.
But
Just over
I
it.
and everything, to report her. I mean, we're doing this constant. It never ends. They lost my bag in Switzerland. 5 days I had to wait. And
Oh,
so I'm
wow.
form for my reimbursement because we were checking with the employer as to what to do. And so they said, "Well, no, you can buy, you can spend, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "Okay, now I'm not going to be shabbily clad coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to make sure you understand." So she writes me a note because I have nothing else to do but to quickly do that reimbursement. I get an email. Now, this was from November. I didn't send it in right away. And I did send it in, but they kept losing it. Imagine that. They've lost it about 3 or 4 times.
Mm.
So I write last week before last. Well, I did it in June. I get a response 6 weeks later, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but due to the fact that you didn't submit this within the submission time,
Wow.
I will have to deny this request." I told her,
Say that to the
I
wrong person.
wanted to say, obviously, you don't know about Beyonce and her song.
Mm.
You must not know about me.
Okay.
So I wrote her this letter back. And of course, I was speaking intelligently. She probably didn't know some of the vocabulary I was using.
Mm-hmm.
But I let her know as kindly as I could, but as succinctly as I could.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that is not happening. I'll tell you what, since you don't have the authority to approve my reimbursement form, you send me the vice president's number and his email. I will contact him myself because
Mm-hmm.
you sound like someone who is totally ridiculous. After everything I went through, telling you on
Mm-hmm.
time, no, that's not happening. So she writes me, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand the circumstances." Well, you got the information. You understood it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
I will be handling your reimbursement personally to try to make sure that you get everything back. I wrote back, "Don't try. You need to
Do.
Do it.
reimburse everything on that list. And if you don't, I'll go see. It's no problem." I said, "I don't have a problem talking to the vice president because I
No.
will find out who he is." And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a continuous fight
Mm-hmm.
all the time in 2023. It's still continuing, but I don't give never.
You're right. So Ms. Ice, I'll say like
everyone.
my whole take on that is you have to have a voice. So
Yeah.
whatever it be, if you want to be one of those stakeholders that's going to those meetings, if you want to be that
Mm-hmm.
one person on the side that's speaking up for that other person, I believe you have to be part of the planning process. I think as Black people, we always have to do more, a little bit more. So we
Yeah.
always have to go in and look professional. We always have to speak a little bit more intelligently. We
Mm-hmm.
have to always carry ourselves a little further. Our education may have to just have that one piece of paper a
That's the
little bit
truth.
more, or you have to do
That's right.
that other specialized training, or it's always like we have to have that one step more. So since we
Mm-hmm.
know this, you're not going to change society, as Dr. Shelley mentioned. Sometimes you just have to adapt. So when we adapt, go in there and show out. Like, don't get upset.
Mm-hmm.
They may not know. Then it's our place to give them and to educate them. So that's my take on it. Just go in and show in
Mm-hmm.
and show out. Be professional. Have that extra piece of paper to go along with it, and make your stance and be part of those planning processes. I think people like to sit and complain to their friends or go home to their mates and complain, but complain to the right people so they can um, take heed into it. I know every time I have a survey, I'm sitting there, I'm filling the survey out, or I'm sending the questionnaire, and I'm actually responding with the comments, because I want you to take heed to what I'm saying. I really want you to look into this and to change something. It's not just going to change with my voice, but I don't want to just always get off the phone and complain about customer service to my
Mm-hmm.
husband. I want to complain to somebody who can actually make a difference with it. So that's kind of my take on it. And
And,
just say,
and
don't
listen,
forget complaints.
we have to be the change agent. And if we don't do it, who will?
Will. Mm-hmm.
So,
But that's it. Okay, ladies. So we done went overtime. Our hour show done turned into 25
An
minutes
hour and a half.
over. 25 minutes over. But Miss Ice, I'm gonna let you finish your last words.
Okay. Well, the children. They say the children are the future. I say the children are now, and we have to each one teach one, empower the parents, because a lot of times the parents are the ceiling for the children. Be the village, and like you said, if not you, who? If not now, when? So,
mhm.
with that being said, I thank you both for having me, for sharing your time, and it's ice, baby.
It's Ice Baby.
That's so
Okay, Dr. Shelley, we went through a lot tonight. Definitely Black Girls Rock. You are definitely a Black girl that is rocking, making a difference in your community and those around you. You have definitely excelled in your field of study, I'll say, and then the different opportunities that you have for the multiple streams of income. I am so excited to again partner with you all and see where that could go for us and me and my family, and getting a healthy, fresh new start. Miss Malaya want to say hello to you all. Ooh, ooh, Daddy like throwing.
Hi, Malay. Hi,
Miss
Malay.
Miss is tired though. She looked like she following her daddy. But I want to say thank you. And if there is a way that people can contact you, or if you want them to contact you through me, you could just let me know. But I definitely want to thank you for your time.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, I have an email. It's linkshelley@gmail.com. LINKSHELLEY@gmail.com. And if something happens, Marchel'e will always be able to get in touch with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining tonight. We still have a lot to chat about, so we're going to be busy chatting it away. And guys, if you are interested in another opportunity for earning extra streams of income, give me a message, send me a message, and let me know. We can move forward with that as well. But Dr. Shelley, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And that is so true. I mean, if you want to be healthy, have a safer life, spend less money, want to lose weight and would like to have an additional stream of income from home working, let us know.
Thank you. Letitia says, thank you, Dr.
Thank
Hamler, for
you
your
so much,
knowledge.
Marchel'e. This is awesome. Thank you for all that you do. You are just a wonderful breath of fresh air. So
wow. Well, thank you. I received that compliment, darling.
Yeah, definitely do.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we'll be in touch. If you have any other guests that you think would benefit from coming on the show or that I could benefit from, remember we talk fashion, beauty, and travel here at Formula EOSBM.
Yes. My sister is one who's a phenomenal artist and interior designer. And she lives in Atlanta.
Oh, nice. Okay, great.
So y'all make sure that you can actually go over to meet her and you'll be able to see.
Awesome. We'll be in touch.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good one.
Okay, guys, that has been Formula EOSBM this evening. I hope you all have learned something. Miss Malaya is soaking in everything because me and her daddy are going to make sure we put everything into her little head. So tonight we said Black girls rock. Black girls definitely rock. Everybody rocks, but we're just talking about Black girls this evening. Tonight, what did you learn? We learned to be involved, make a difference. It's not just about getting your income and, just taking care of your family. Are you able to be someone who made a difference to other people? You want to be someone who experiences life. Be sure to travel, talk to people when you go out, try new foods, dance to different music. You want to have a full enjoyment in your life. So as you all know, it's a lifestyle. They're always watching. So baby, give them something good to look at, honey. That has been Formula EOSBM tonight. Good night, Malaya. Tell them good night. Okay, my baby is tired. She normally be a little bit more awake and dull, but she be missing me this time of night. So she look a little tired. So let me go tend to my baby, and I'll see you all this time next Sunday, 8 p.m. Toodles. Mm-hmm. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's get ready for this live chat. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe right now.